The following audio may contain coarse language and other material that may not be suitable for a younger audience. Viewer discretion is advised. Also, we may spoil anything and everything, so you have been warned.
Hello, and welcome to Save Point Podcast, the video game podcast from Tuscan Shed Media Network. With me today is Jack Newman. How are you, Jack?
Hey guys, how you doing?
And Peter Dancy.
Hello everyone, what's up?
And I am Ben Holler. So, as always, we will have a discussion topic for the show. We will be talking about sort of games that don't really have a set plot or purpose, your Minecrafts, your Civilizations. But before we get into that, and of course our news, we always start every show by talking about what everyone has been playing. So first up, Peter, what have you been playing?
Okay, I don't want to give too much away because it'll give away big plot points, and I'm not about to do that. But earlier today I played Telltale's newly released Batman Episode 3, and oh my god, the bombs they dropped, especially at the end, as far as the villain and what's going on with Bruce's family and the company and the city, the city as a whole. I cannot wait to see how Telltale plays out these last two episodes. Now shit hits the fan, and I'm excited. It really hits the fan. That's all I'm gonna say.
I tend to feel like Telltale's best episodes are the middle ones. Don't you guys?
Yeah.
I feel like it's always a good ramp up, and then the ending's always pretty good, but you also kind of always get that same Telltale thing where you're like, well, my choices only mattered so much, but it's either fun or it's not.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely true, but I think I'm going to now that I've gotten through to their real episode with this is what we want to do, this is what we want to present to our consumers. Because of that, it's okay. I think I'm going to enjoy the ride for over the next couple of months when they drop episode 4 and episode 5.
Very cool, very cool. All right, well, I got my hands on a very new game, which is Civilization 6, one of the two hotly released games this week, and I am loving it. I think Civilization 6 is phenomenal. I've heard some people have issues with it, but I think a lot of stuff has been really, really improved a lot. I think one of the most interesting things they've done is that they've changed it so that instead of sort of stacking buildings into your city, you now have what's known as districts, where each tile occupies a different district. So you can have the science district, where you can put universities and research labs. You can have the theater district, where you can put your art museums and your amphitheaters. You can have your entertainment district, your commercial district. And what I love about this is, first off, the map makes it look so much more nice. Where when you build, say, a wonder takes up an entire square. So it takes forever, but by the end you get this really awesome animation. Sean Bean says some really nice words, and
wait, Sean Bean?
Sean Bean narrates all the audio.
Thank God he's narrating, which means he can't die.
He cannot die. Wouldn't it be great if there's just one wonder where he's gets murdered in the middle of it? Just a good reference.
The nuclear warhead comes in.
Exactly.
Yes.
He says something.
And he's like, oh, never fucking mind.
Yeah, he says that
Humans,
Oppenheimer
they're
quote.
Terrible.
And then Peter Dinklage comes out of nowhere. It's well, now that he's gone.
I'm the lead of this show. Yes, that'd be great. So it's really nice because you can if you build the pyramids now have their own space, and they're beautiful, and they occupy a specific spot on the map. And if you build a science district and you add a university, suddenly the university is in the little district, and everything just looks so much cleaner and nicer in that way. And because of that, a lot of it's more streamlined. Workers now only can build 3 things, but they can only do it in one turn. So there's this sort of much better progress where you're not waiting around as often. There's a lot more activity. Where Civ 5, I found myself a lot of times just going, okay, turn. I tend to find myself in this one, which is why it's taking me longer, actually micromanaging more and getting into the nitty gritty and just enjoying the scenery and enjoying the visuals. It's a little more cartoony, like I said, but it really, really does a good job of making you feel like you're actually building a civilization, like they say. You feel like you're building areas. And when a district gets raided, it sucks. It's a very new kind of shit where it's you could lose a district before you can lose like your city. You know what I mean? Because they're much easier to destroy, and it sets you back a long time. And it's a very interesting way of doing war.
Is it kind of like the StarCraft? God, Jesus Christ!
Words.
The StarCraft production issue where you like run in and like they'll knock out like part of like your production cycle line.
Oh,
and then,
totally.
like, you know, if he brings down the research thing, all of a sudden, like, you know, you were trying to produce like tanks and you needed this certain research hub, but you only built one of those hubs, and like if somebody knocks it out, you're just like, well, I can't produce anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're just fucked.
Absolutely, that's the way it can work. Because, like, for example, if someone's getting science victory, you could absolutely go to their spaceport, blow up their fucking spaceport, you know, and then they're fucked because they got to build a whole new spaceport and a whole new thing, and if whatever they're researching is gone, and like it could really change a lot of the way you play the game, which is what I really appreciate. So the districts are really good, and the other thing that they changed that I love the most, I have a lot of lists, but I won't take too much time, is city states. This is something interesting they introduced in Civ 5, but I never liked the way that like the way it worked in there was like it was basically like a sliding bar that slowly went down and down. But what I like in this one is you have envoys. So you basically either complete a quest, you get an envoy. When you meet a civilization one for the first time, you get an envoy. And if you can also just get general envoys, you can send to any of the city states. And each of the city states have different levels. So some will be like, well, if you're with us, you know, will get this much gold for something, or you'll get this much culture, or this much faith.
Right.
They're various different ones. And then if you have enough envoys, you control that city-state. And then you have access to their military, you have access to their goods and services, things like that. So there's no more World Congress that has been taken out of the game. It's been replaced by religious victory, which is also pretty interesting. The religion aspect is pretty good in this one, where the religious people can actually fight holy wars, which is really cool. Where if an apostle meets an apostle, you can fight each other, but it doesn't cause your actual civs to get into war with each other, which is really interesting. So you can have sort of like these spiritual wars along with other stuff. So I have a lot of stuff I love about it. And I can talk more about it. I'm still
Can you
not done
guide
yet.
per se the religion and like let it, and it gets out of control like most religions do?
That would be great. I would think that's very fascinating. I've yet to see if there's any sort of problem with religion. That would be very interesting. Where like if the religion became tyrannical or something. But as far as I know, it's Civ. You know, it takes a lot of nuance away from real politics.
Yeah. I mean, it does. It kind of like gives you like command, and it's more pseudo giving you command of the society. And if you try to like insert that kind of crap, it's gonna kind of
right. And
less.
There's an interesting thing now where
That's
you
a
can
turn-based
declare
strategy game, which is essentially what this is.
Right. Yeah. There's an interesting change now where you can declare war on people for different reasons than just regular war. So, for example, at a certain point, if you've researched it, because there's also culture tiers along with technology tiers now, and if you've researched this one specific one which gives you different kinds of war, like for example, when the Chinese people who are Catholics, which is always the funny thing, where it's like Chinese Catholics showed up and trying to convert my city to Catholicism, I declared war on him because he sent like 1 million missionaries clearly to try and win like religion victory, right? So I was able to declare holy war on him, which made me a much lower warmongering status. So it was a nice way to like change up the game, where it's like I didn't have to just sit idly by, but I still also took some penalty for like killing all those missionaries. so
here's my question. The most important thing that our viewers want to know is Gandhi still a warmongering piece of shit?
Oh my god, yes.
Oh, of course. Of course. In fact, they kept Gandhi is the only major figure they've kept. That's what's interesting. They've changed up all the figures. Now Theodore Roosevelt is for America. Yeah, they've changed up all of them.
That's weird.
I think the Congo has replaced the Zulus. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, like they were pulling out figures and like leaders from history that like I hadn't for me personally I had never heard about, and I was just like, oh, that's really fucking cool.
Yeah,
that's an interesting choice. I mean, I guess like for me, like, you know, Abe Lincoln, I'm like, yeah. I don't know, but I guess like this is the same. It's the same token, but like they'll always have Gandhi because it's just a joke.
Yeah, it's a.
But here's my question: is like, is he more like likely to commit holy war and that kind of thing in the same sort of vein?
Gandhi, unfortunately, is not in my campaign, so I can't speak to him. But one thing that's very interesting about the figures now is that they will actually tell you. There's one direct sort of policy issue and one hidden policy issue, which you can find out when you have spies later or if you're friends with them. And each of those determine why they act like they do with you, which is so much better than like sometimes you'd be like, wait, why are you pissed off at me? And so versus like in this one they'll literally say like, I'm friend with Isabella, and she says to me like, oh, I don't like people who've explored the world more than me. So I had already met all the civs at that point, and I was like, all right, I killed all my scouts. So I was like, fine, I want to be friends with her, you know? And so you can be interestingly diplomatic in that way, where you can be like, okay, I get why you're mad at me, because like China hates me because China doesn't like anybody who makes more wonders than they do, and I made more wonders, and they think I'm an asshole. Because
and you can kill a wonder, and maybe they'll be okay with you.
Yeah, totally. Maybe if
I mean that's a cool. That's weird, but it's also kind of cool.
Yeah, that's a nice little tidbit to discover.
It's very specific. Yeah. It's like, and they literally will be like, "You have more wonders than me."
It's like China's like, man, like our relationships would normalize if you just knock down the Washington Monument, you bastards.
Exactly. You should blow up that pyramid, then we'll like you.
They send a pigeon. Please tear down the Statue of Liberty. Please and thank you. Okay, thanks. Bye. Loves.
They send a pigeon.
Hey,
say a pigeon.
Yes, I said they send a pigeon.
They send a
damn
pigeons.
pigeon.
Send a pigeon.
No, but like with you talking about all this stuff, Ben, like it makes me curious if another friend of mine is playing this game yet, because he mentioned it to me like that he was thinking about getting it last week. I need to check up on that because he loved Civ 5, and like the second Civ 6 was announced, he texted me, he was like, I'm getting this game for obvious reasons, and he because he's the kind of guy like when he plays Civ and then other games he has, he likes to micromanage stuff. He likes to work all the cogs for whatever to get it just right, and then he's also the kind of person like I remember we were playing Settlers of Catan one day, a few of us, and to we played like 3 games, and just because he could, he was like, I'm just gonna be a dick to you. He'd announce like 3 moves and be like, oh, so that's why you blocked out my road right there with your settlement, ass.
It can be very fun to be a complete asshole.
I am not a human being that can play Sorry. I feel like Civilization is a little bit like I actually have a game to compare this to if you're interested.
We'll be talking a little bit more about it in the thing, but sure, go ahead.
Well, no, it's also the thing I wanted to talk about specifically because like I said, I had a lot of stuff this week that I started playing. Yeah. I started playing Titanfall 2, and I've not gotten super far in it, but I'm going to confirm that it is good. It is very good, and I really want it to do well. and specifically for me, like, man, this is, of all the shooters I have played in recent memory, the fucking campaign is so awesome.
Nice.
And I don't even know that it's mechanically different, very different. It's just the mechs are so fucking cool.
Nice.
And especially like with jetpacks and other things, you can really create some really cool set pieces. Like when the mech like throws you and you like jet, and it's on all the trailers, so I'm not spoiling anything. But like literally, there's moments where the mech is just like, trust me, and it like throws your body across a canyon, and you're jetpacking over things, and you're just like fuck. It's so intense. It's definitely like a COD style shooter, so it's not like super difficult or anything, but it's just like it is such a relaxing play so far for me.
That's awesome.
And some of the mech battles are really intense, cool, and they also bring in nemesis and stuff. So there's like somebody will show up, and it's so much better than like the nameless mechs, because someone will show up and like be a character, and the pilot's there, and it's definitely you feel like you're in fucking Gundam because it's just like there's your rival, and he shows up with a sword, and he's like, I'm gonna fuck you up, and you're like, oh shit. He's got a sword, and that's what happened. And they've definitely done what they should have done in the first place with this, was just jump the shark more, and I appreciate that. But I want to play it more, because I kind of want to do a whole episode where we talk about the different shooters this year, because I think they draw a really good distinction between COD and Titanfall 2 and
Battlefield.
And specifically, Battlefield being the big one that everyone loves, and I'm gonna strongly disagree with that.
It seems like Titanfall 2 is getting a good amount of love too, which is good.
Yeah, it is, but it's not selling well.
No,
thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
And
that's
fair. And we already know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be critically underselling, is what people are saying.
That's
we'll see.
It's a bummer when that happens. But yes, I'm looking forward to hearing about Titanfall 2.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't blame anyone. It's coming out at the same time as Battlefield. Like, this is just stupid on their part to some extent.
Yeah, and especially if Titanfall is kind of a
what.
The original one
you just push it back to January. Like, why the fuck would you release it now? It makes no sense to me. This would be a king of January game, you know, or not even January, but like February, you know.
Yeah, right, like those early months of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, King, it's just, it doesn't. I don't know. I'm not gonna talk about it. Anyways, I'm upset about it. But the actual game I did finish this week is I finished Fire Emblem Fates Conquest, and I am shocked to report that this is my favorite Fire Emblem game, and it is probably one of my favorite video games of this year.
Awesome.
Nice.
Specifically over the Birthright version. I'm shocked because Fire Emblem Conquest is about 10 times as hard as Birthright. Like
That's what I've
it's
been told,
dark. Here's the thing: I've restarted the game twice.
Wow.
Because I like had a holocaust of characters and tried to keep going, saved over the thing, and realized I couldn't win at some point.
That's a bummer. When you
Like,
do an
that's-
XCOM
that's-
or Fire Emblem where your characters die and you realize it's undoable, you're just done.
Yeah, and,
It's a
and it's
bummer.
happened twice to me, and I eventually beat it. But like the thing is like, and I wonder this too because like I usually play on like there's 3 difficulty settings, and I usually play about the medium difficulty setting because it's just I don't know. I'm not like a master of the gameplay.
I'm similar. I'm usually at a medium. Yeah.
I don't
play
think
on
I don't
easy,
think
I'm
I think I feel that if you give me a medium setting, that's usually what you intend the game to be played at.
Yeah.
Unless somebody's like, yeah, and I think that's I think for me like Birthright just wasn't hard enough for me to start using like the tactical system to its fullest extent.
Oh, interesting.
And I think that what happened is that Conquest really pushed me to do it, and like once I started doing it, it was actually like a game of chess. Like it was actually became so much more tactical, and I actually started using this stuff in such a way that I was like this. It became a transcendently fun experience because it forced me to use the tools. Which comes back around to Dark Souls, which I don't think if it was easier, anyone would like to fucking mess with any of it.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah.
Which is I think that's the other thing is like I really want someday to talk about like difficulty of games because I don't consider myself the one that likes difficult games. I don't consider myself very good at video games, but damn dudes, and especially the other thing is the story is so much fucking darker too. Is the other thing is because the other game it's like very traditional. It's like there's a dark king. It's very normal, but in the other version you go with your adopted family who is essentially the evil people in the first game, which is Birthright, which is the other side. Which is the weird thing to me too is I realized the other day is like I've spent probably $120 on this game. Because I've played both versions.
Right.
I played the expansion.
Yeah.
And so that's like they're like $40 bucks, and then it's $20 for the expansion, and then it's two $20 DLC packs.
Wow.
Goodness gracious.
And I'm just like, how did this happen? Because
The game's good enough,
if anyone had told me I would spend $120 or whatever.
Yeah, if that was the price,
on
you went up to the counter and they're like, buy these games for $125. You'd be like, fuck
Like,
you.
no, what's wrong with you?
No, it's exactly what it was. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I bought the DLC for Conquest because I physically needed it to buy the game because I physically needed more missions to level up my characters to complete the game.
That's funny.
Wow.
Like for me, it was like I'm not going to finish this game without this DLC, and I was like $20. Oh fuck
Like,
yeah!
I literally have no
interesting.
choice right now. Do it. Just give it to me.
And I bought like the other Birthright, which I didn't even finish Birthright because I got bored of it. But I definitely finished Conquest, even though it was 3 times. It was like literally like 10 times as hard.
Wow.
And my question is would I have enjoyed Birthright if I had cranked up the difficulty on that one?
Maybe. You
actually
think you might
use
going to
some
go
of the
back
stuff.
and try it at some point?
I probably will. I'm a little out of my thing now. I don't want to.
Done
I really
with
don't
the-
want to do it now.
Yeah.
I got to take a break, man. It's
No.
it's great, but like it's some hours. They're really great. I really love those games, and it's really good to like.
No, it's the thing. When you
I
play
play
a
them
really
at my
hard game
desk at
for
work.
one reason or another, you're like, I don't want to do that thing. Like I said, when I was done with
Yeah.
puzzles, the Jonathan Blow game, I was like, I don't want puzzles.
puzzle.
I'm done with puzzles.
No more puzzles.
No more
God,
puzzles. Dumb
what was
things.
that game called?
I also got to the final boss of the Dark Souls DLC, Ashes of Ariandel, and I do not think I am going to beat this boss. It is the only Dark Souls boss that I know that has 3 stages.
Oh, Jesus
and
Christ.
and it is just some brutality. And that's the thing is there's Dark Souls bosses, there's optional Dark Souls bosses up to this point that I haven't beaten before, and this one is kind of optional, and it's kind of like because the DLC is kind of optional, so it's just really hard to justify like, in my mind because it's just so hard. And I'm not gonna lie, there's some Dark Souls bosses like the one that everyone talks about. You know, you guys have seen the image, the dragon one that flies in on the dragon.
Yeah.
And with the lightning spear, which is the Nameless King, which is Lord Gwyn's son, and that boss is a war crime. like just from and it's funny too because like I've seen serious reviewers just be like people who are like really good at Dark Souls be like, no, this boss is just bullshit.
That's
like,
hilarious.
It's just designed to piss you off. Like this is just like Dark Souls doing a victory lap. It's like, what is an optional boss in Dark Souls? The worst possible thing we can come up with.
Just throw everything at it. Go ahead. They won't mind.
Yeah, that was literally started as a bet, probably in the office. Of
I think
like,
it was.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that character specifically is like a fuck you to the fans because there's been such long held like really the biggest fan canon in all of the first Dark Souls game is the identity of Lord Gwyn's son they thought was this character the Solaire, the guy with the actual sun. That's like the most known Dark Souls character. You guys know what he looks like. He's got like the bucket helmet and he's got the sun on his chest.
Yeah, praise the sun.
Yeah, that's Solaire. The guy that praises the sun is Solaire. And that's the thing is everyone always thinks that he is, the son of Lord Gwyn, and it was really, really good fan canon. It was really well supported. And he like talks about like there's literally like lines in there that you're just like you listen to them and it's like there's no way he's not the son. And then it turns out it's just this douche boss at the end of the game and you're just like fuck you. It feels like a fuck you to the fans and a fuck you to mechanics as well. So that's that. I never talked about that. That boss, like I actually tried really hard to beat that boss, and I was like, no, this is not gonna happen.
That's fun.
It's not gonna happen. Ashes of Ariandel is good though. It is very, 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 very short.
Interesting.
And I think that is
maybe that's also why it's so hard. The bosses are so hard that.
Well, there's only really one boss.
Oh, interesting.
There's one boss.
Wow. That's crazy.
Like it's really short, and I was just kind of like blown away by that. I mean, there's kind of like a sub boss. It depends on how you look on it. I don't really. There's like another character that flies in. There's a bunch of there's a bunch of fights in it. I mean, but there's like a wolf thing that's kind of technically about. I don't know. The bosses in this game are kind of like I associate it as a whole bunch of sub bosses in one really, really badass multi-level tiered fight, which is cool from the lore perspective, but from a fucking thing like the endurance of that fight is just insane.
Yeah.
Like I'm just fighting and I'm like, fuck this.
It's a classic. This isn't even my final form, boss. Yeah.
Oh no. Well, that's the thing too. Is like the first form is like this girl with the scythe, and just I cannot get her movement set down because of the scythe. It's so fucking weird. And I always just end up using way too much Estus on the first fight. And then like she goes down, and then it's like, and then there's two of them because this giant dude who's just like clomping around this room with this giant vat of molten lava pouring it everywhere, and it's just like it's essentially just like room denial with the same fucking boss that you just struggled against.
Yeah,
and you're just like fuck this.
That's a
and
classic God of War thing. Yeah. Style.
Yeah, and then you beat them, and the girl gets back up, and all of a sudden her reach is just like 3 times as long, and you're just like final form. And you're just like fuck you, and it like her damage like doubles and her reach doubles, and you're like what?
Video games, I think they come every time that they get to the third form, and they kill you immediately, so you don't even learn anything. You know. Like, I think that must be their favorite thing ever. Like, they're like, oh, he died before he even learned anything. Yes.
Oh, my God.
No, and that's the thing is, like, I can get through the first 2 forms, and then I'm just like, I'm almost like emotionally exhausted by the third one.
Because you're about to say, I'm going to die real quick. Hopefully I learned something, or I got to do this all again
you're like
15 minutes.
Like you learn her pattern, and that's the thing is her pattern is the same from the first match. So theoretically, if you learned her pattern perfectly from the first match, you should be able to do it. And I know how to do it because I've done her. But I'm always like so emotionally exhausted because it's been like 20, 30 fucking minutes.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm just like, I'm done. I can't do this. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever beat it. I've seen the ending from the game, and I pretty much emotionally closed the door on Dark Souls 3 until the next DLC. And honestly, I don't even know that I'm going to play it unless there's like people start saying that the lore really ups the ante into it, because I'm kind of... This was kind of a fart way for Dark Souls 3 to go out of my mind.
Yeah.
A little bit. I'm a little bit disappointed.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, moving on. What's that over in the distance? Could it be?
Time for news.
News time.
I don't know.
Well, we know what the big news story is. Jack, tell us about The Nintendo
Switch.
Yeah, big shit happened.
Nintendo
over
has
Nintendo
finally
Land.
announced their new console, which will be the Switch. All right, so somebody do the joke.
Are you a Dom or are you a sub? Actually, I'm a Switch.
I'm a Switch. All right, we're good.
They thought they were gonna get
Had to
away
make the
from
joke.
some dark joke being made about this thing, and it's like, and BDSM community came and was like, actually, we got you covered.
Right.
Yeah, no. I've seen that joke like a half dozen times, and we had to do it. Anyways, the design of the console is bizarre, as Nintendo will want to do.
Yes.
It is a portable system. They are combining essentially their 3DS system and their Wii U bases. It is a tablet format. So what you're going to do is you're going to have a base that'll hook up to your TV, and then the tablet will plug into the base, and you'll be able to play your Nintendo games on your TV with two detachable controllers that'll attach onto a separate controller that you can then play the game with. Again, closer to mention, Nintendo's still being smart and raking in the peripheral money by also giving you a classic Wii. I mean a classic GameCube style controller. It's not GameCube style. It's whatever the Pro style controllers. Did you guys know those controllers have like 80 hours of battery life?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? Why can PS4 like only crank out about like 2?
No, I don't know what that
I don't know. Sorry.
Couldn't tell you.
Different day's discussion. But the idea is that once you play that, you can detach these two separate parts of the things, and it'll attach to the sides of the tablet, and you can take it out of the dock and take it anywhere with you.
Yes.
So that's the thing. It's a portable system that you can play on a large TV, and it can have more power, and then you can take it on the go and play it wherever you want.
Or you don't have
What
to
do you
stop for
guys
bathroom
think of
breaks.
Oh yeah.
That's the main thing it's going to be used for. I think that this is both so exciting, it could be so revolutionary, and it can also be fucked up so many ways. It is
Very much
very interesting to me, but there is a lot of questions I have. There's so many questions. I think
And they've answered none of them.
yeah, and unfortunately, some of them are going to be answered right away as soon as someone gets their hand on it. Like, how quickly, when you push it into the thing, does it jump up to the TV? How long
Exactly.
does it last when you hold it? Does it have a USB? Like, basically, like, does it have a USB charging, or do I have to have a Nintendo charger? Because if it's a USB charger, it's a
Oh,
little
sweet
better,
Jesus.
Yeah. Things like that.
Because then we could hook up portable batteries all day. I mean, then I don't really even give a shit about the portable battery life.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I give a shit.
So,
but like, if it's like,
does it
if
only
it's like
charge in the
4
dock,
hours,
or
it's not-
can you charge it on the go?
Right.
Like, exactly. So there's a lot of questions I have. I think it's awesome that they're doing it. I think it's a very interesting idea, but I just don't. Oh, and the one other big question I have would be, what happens to the 3DS? Because the thing that's really exciting is they're saying they're going to start combining the platforms, and mainly
So-
for Jack and me included, Breath of Fire is now going to be
Yeah.
on this, and presumably this. But if 3DS goes away, what does that mean? Or are they still going to make it? Like, what is
Like,
that
where
mean?
does Fire Emblem go? Like, that's the thing that freaked me out. I was like, is the Fire Emblem games platform going away? What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly.
Fuck you! I just got back into this series. Fuck you!
I think they'll still make them, but the question is, are they only going to be on the Switch? Are they going to be on the Switch and the 3DS? Like, what is that? Does the 3DS go away? Like, again, there's even questions.
Imagine
that are-
it'll switch between both.
Oh! And
I
will
don't-
Karen
I don't
ever
know.
just talk to the people at the party? Damn it, Karen!
Damn
Stop
it!
playing your
Damn it,
Switch.
Karen! Oh my god.
Okay, sorry. I mean, Ben, the biggest question that you didn't even mention there is the difference between. You have to realize this is a microcosm of PS4 Pro and PS4 between the two within the system. Because they've already admitted that there will be slower frame rates on the portable version than when you boot it up to the big screen.
Well, yeah.
And
Interesting.
that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, what is the revolution? What is the resolution of that screen? Because it's not like they're rocking some Mac technology. It's not like the Wii U gamepad was a great It looks like some Fisher Price bullshit. Like, I don't mean to be mean about it. I'm just like it was like. Have you ever like held a Wii U pad in your hand? It feels like shit.
No, yeah, I had a
When I'm
Wii
playing
U.
Mario-
Yeah, it's,
when I'm
the
playing
screen
Mario Kart,
looked
it isn't
good
that
though.
bad
I
to
will
me.
say it looked good, but it was design-wise a goddamn nightmare.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not shitting on the Wii U. I actually don't dislike the system and the idea of it. I just feel like the gaming, like
it also
I like.
proves that the Wii U is just them trying to make the Switch initially. You know what I mean? I think it definitely shows that they were.
I think that's
they were
exactly
always
They
going
had
for the
was.
Switch. That was their idea, but they were like, put out the Wii U real quick.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the question too. Is like, has Nintendo always just been half-assing this generation because of this?
I wouldn't be
Like,
shocked.
was this like how much of a game plan was this?
That's the question. Did they do Wii U didn't fail? Did Wii U fail and they're like, but let's take the good parts and turn it to Switch? Or were they always trying to make Switch and in the middle they were just like, we can also make the Wii U real quick,
Yeah, or was the Wii U just a test bed for new technologies? Which is clearly this is what it is. I mean,
I think it's
clearly
probably a test
like
bed
there's
more
some element. I do too.
I think they
and
probably-
that
A
freaks
little
me
bit
out.
of both.
That freaks me out that like Nintendo has the balls to like throw out a console like that.
I would not be shocked if they were like always kind of knew Wii U wouldn't sell super well, and that they were always more aiming for the Switch, and that was what they were really.
Dude,
for.
I just can't imagine like just intentionally.
Yeah, it's
putting
crazy.
out
If
a
they
bad
did it, it's
console.
insane.
After the Wii, like all you had to do is power up the Wii, and you would have sold billions.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I can't believe I have to admit on a level, Ben, I just can't believe that you would do that. Like, and I don't even and I know that's like greedy of me to like say, but like just from like a pure business
crazy.
standpoint, it's almost like
It's crazy.
it's not only crazy, it's almost like just like willfully negligent to your stock to your shareholders.
Yes, it's a bit insane.
Like not repeating the Wii is just like insane.
Well, it was interesting because you watched the stock for Switch. It was very interesting because as soon as it announced, it went up and then it went down. Because I think everybody went like, "Whoa, wait, like everyone just took.
everyone stopped.
Everyone's eye like got cocked. They're like, okay, where's the other shoe, guys?
Yeah, that's the thing.
And that's the other thing is if Nintendo was smart, they would have put all the facts out with this. Like, why are they holding this back?
I don't know.
What are they hiding behind the curtain? That's gonna
Exactly.
This
This is like,
okay, never mind.
Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah.
It's like this is some Wizard of Oz level bullshit.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea, and especially with iPad gaming becoming so big and trying to get in that market, I think it's a fascinating idea. But you're right; it's like until you see it in action, I just don't know what to think.
Yeah, no, and I think that's the thing. I think that's what we're gonna have to finally like be the word on it. Is we need more information. If this is what it is, if it is,
it's a problem that it came out after No Man's Sky. That's a real problem. It came out like right after.
oh yeah, like everyone's
Someone-
super,
That is true, my
super
God.
critical.
Yeah.
it was like, but really, where are you lying to me?
Because we all see Avatar and love that moment where they take something from a screen and just move it to their
Yeah.
screen, and we all
Yeah.
love that, and I want that to be reality one day, but I just
Right.
don't trust that till I see it. in real
No,
life.
yeah, I mean, this is exactly what you want. And the other thing is too is I want this to have like secondary functionality. I want Nintendo to get their secondary like social media game together. And like, can you imagine this being like also something that like I just had friends and we actually go and play with this? I mean, that would actually never happen. That was the other thing I was thinking. I was like, I know myself as a gamer, and I know I'm never gonna like take the screen out. It's just gonna be like it's gonna be a PS4 and just sit there right next to it, and I'm just gonna play it like that.
I'm never gonna, except for plane rides. I'd probably, if it worked
I
perfectly,
would
I'd probably
never-
only take it out to play on the bed so I could lay down.
Guys, I am obsessed with Fire Emblem, and I went to Chicago and I had Fire Emblem in my bag the whole way because I wouldn't take it out and play Fire Emblem on the plane.
That is awesome.
Like I was just too embarrassed to do it. Like, especially like with some of like the anime characters that are like look like little girls and are running around. I'm just like, I can't do this.
I don't need this kind of
It's like-
scrutiny I don't need this kind of scrutiny from strangers.
I don't because there's like some other people like I knew were like close by on the plane. I was like, I'm not playing Fire Emblem.
And that's so funny. I always purposely pick like the fanciest movies, like, cause I want to look like cultured on a plane, and yet I hear constantly people like, "Yeah, I saw someone watching porn on a plane," and I'm like,
Wait, what?
Why am I trying?
How do you have the social capacity to do
Yeah, how
that?
do people do
They
that?
don't have
You
any
know
social
that
capacity.
you know that person is a serial killer, or could be a serial
Or they
killer.
have
There's
absolutely
no
no
question.
social cues.
Like, if you could watch porn on a plane, you don't care about the rest of society.
Exactly. And I may want to follow you during the Mad Max Wasteland, as you might be a leader.
Probably.
I don't know that you want to follow that dude.
I'll keep close
Like
eyes
as soon
on
as
him.
as soon as it's profitable to him, he's gonna stab you.
At least
Probably.
keep
That's probably
tabs on him.
I mean, yeah, but it's also cool. It's like games they talk about. You know, the lineup games is gonna be Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8, and Splatoon. Splatoon, I'm super excited about actually.
Yeah. Splatoon
'Cause,
2?
I mean,
Is it 2?
Splatoon.
Splatoon? Splatonic?
If they're smart, they'll call it.
I actually didn't even
What was
realize
that,
they were making a
Splatonic?
Splatonic.
For me, the other big news is that where the fuck are they ditching all their they're just ditching a generation of controls they've been building.
Oh yeah, all the Wii stuff and
Yeah. Like they're like the funny thing is like the Nintendo is going to be the only console out there that doesn't have some sort of periphery motion controller.
that's a good point.
Think about that. They
Unless they're gonna
invented
put
this
something
game.
in there that they haven't told us yet. I don't know.
Oh, I guess it's totally true. And then for me, there's no reason they can't like sell an extra box if you want to do some Wii bowling.
Right, but it's interesting they're going for
Bring
that
it back,
versus
yes.
VR. You know what I mean? Which is where everyone else is going. You know, they're
I
going
don't
more
think
mobile.
I don't think they have the technology to compete.
They aren't going to go there. They're not going to risk it. I don't.
And here's the other thing is you already know like why is everyone releasing a more powerful box this fast? Not because they necessarily want to, but because they needed to power VR.
That's a good point.
Is the op piece that I've been saying is that, and that's the thing is people are looking at PSVR and they're like, yeah, it's good. It's just like it has all these issues, and you're kind of everyone's sitting there like, yeah, the PS4 just can't really handle the PSVR.
Interesting.
And that's my thing is like, well, is the PS4 Pro gonna handle it? And that's the answer is probably yes.
Yes.
Probably yes, which is really I don't know. It's still shitty that like I'm sure some things are happening. But the big question is like, how are developers for the Switch gonna scale games for the little screen and the big screen?
That's a good question.
I mean, that's just like that's my big question. It's like is this the difference between like, you know, it's like you're playing on a Wii U and then you go to a 3DS. Like the difference in technology is insane, and I'm glad that they're upping the game for the 3DS. And maybe this is where we'll get truly the best like first generation like Bravely Default like full character models. Like that's what I want. But at the same time, like I'm like,
At the same time,
I'm
How
just
does this
imagining a bizarre, a hilarious thing where like you're playing COD on the Switch and you pull it out and it turns into Doom. Like right when you get it. It's all I can play.
This is the other thing that's making me realize like if Nintendo is this ballsy, it could just not work.
Oh, totally. That's why I'm like,
And that's
I
what-
don't know. Because it
That's
could
what
be a
terrifies
nightmare.
me now. It's like I have no faith in them. Like the Wii U has like broken my faith in them a little bit. And PS4 is doing screw your shit, but like they will throw a console out to die. Like that's some balls. Like I don't know how to rectify that. Like they've talked about like how much back capital they have, and they can throw 3 or 4 more consoles out to die.
Right.
And I'm like, should I buy in this hardware until I know it's a sure thing? And I'm not gonna.
Well, yeah. Also, the Nintendo's this weird thing where they're like Star Wars was. They're like, oh, we could sell this at any time for billions and billions of dollars. You know, like so we don't have to ever worry about the future of this company in a sense.
It's just such a fucking mindset to have, dude.
It's crazy.
I mean, they could just sell Zelda to Sony for like for billions.
oh my
Right.
God, yes, please give it
Like,
to Sony.
They could fund their company for like 20 more years just selling like one of their IPs off to Sony.
Mario Maker was the biggest ball drop I've ever seen in my life. Where they're like, oh, you want a new Mario game? Here, make your own.
You make it.
Make
And it
your
ended
own.
up being fantastic.
It was
And
a great
even
idea.
their own company, like it just had that mindset. I was like, where do we go after space? We don't. You do it, bitch. It's like it's space and then galaxy and then I don't give a fuck anymore.
I don't know what's beyond that, and I don't care.
All right, one last story, and I just want to get quick so that we can get moved on to the main topic for today. But Kingdom Hearts 2.8 has been announced. Oh my God! And again, this is announced on the announcement that it's going to be Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5, and Kingdom Hearts 2.8.
No, Jack,
And
Jack, you got to give the full title: Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue.
Okay, let me just go through and do all of these.
I'm sorry.
'cause This is great. It's HD 1.5 Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 remix, Kingdom Hearts 2 HD 2.5 remix, and then Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue. And going through these all contain 3 games or 2 games and a pseudo chapter.
They each contain 3 games, yeah, or whatever.
Well, it depends because some of them are just cinematics.
Right.
So the 1.5 includes Kingdom Hearts Final Mix and Kingdom Hearts Recoded. Kingdom Hearts RE Chain of Memories. The version of Chain of Memories was released in Europe and Australia. First time collection. Okay, and then it also includes Kingdom Hearts. Oh my God, I'm gonna mess this up. 358 over 2 days.
That's basically how I say it.
It does not appear in playable form and instead features the Nintendo DS game adapted into 2 hours and 50 minutes worth of cinematic retelling. So it is essentially 3 hours, a 3-hour cutscene. So it's 2 games and a 3-hour cutscene.
You want a Kingdom Hearts movie? We give it to you.
Yeah. That shit is going to get loaded onto YouTube so fast.
Oh, it already is.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it already exists on YouTube somewhere. I just want to watch. And then 2.5 is Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Final Mix. Oh my god, I didn't realize the PlayStation Portable had a Final Mix. And then Kingdom Hearts RE Coded, which is another game. Our code was also included, but features the Nintendo DS game adapted into a cinematic retelling, similar to how Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days was done.
And Recoded, by the way, was released only on cell phones, only in Japan. So the rest of the world did not get this game.
So the only thing that you can see it is if you want to see it on as a cinematic trailer, which I need to go find actually, because that one I really haven't delved into. All right, and then the final bit. The newest game that is actually being released, which is actually the one I'm most interested in, is 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, which includes Kingdom Hearts, Dream Drop Distance, which I can only assume and both hope is cooler in Japanese.
No, I think it's pretty much the same in Japanese.
I think it is too, and I think it's like 3 letters. I think it's like a weird interpretation so they could get 3Ds.
Because they probably only did that because they knew they were putting it on the 3DS. That's really the only reason.
I really want to know what that like. I just feel like there's like a really really crappy localization, and they're having a team meeting about the title. It was like, okay, it's something weird in Japanese. I don't know what we're gonna do.
To be a fly on the wall in that meeting.
And then it's also Kingdom Hearts .2. Oh my god, Kingdom Hearts 0. So then the second game is Kingdom Hearts 0.2 : Birth by Sleep / a fragmentary passage.
Jesus Christ.
Which is a new short episode taking place after the events of the original Birth by Sleep. So it is essentially Dream Drop Distance with a Birth by Sleep DLC, and then Kingdom Hearts X back cover, which is again just a cinematic sequence.
Damn cinematic.
Telling of another mobile game.
Serious question. Do you think
Okay.
there will ever be a Kingdom Hearts the Complete Edition? Do you think there'll ever be a release of all of them in order? And chronological order, it's like 7 discs, and it's $500. Do you think that's gonna ever happen?
I'm sorry.
Why
Ben,
fuck wouldn't they? Like, why wouldn't they? I don't even understand why this one isn't. Why is it 2.8 include all of this stuff?
Right? Why is it on
really
3
should.
separate games?
Like, why wouldn't you just like? How cheap is Kingdom Hearts the original version? And you have cinematics there for 2 of these other games. Why isn't the 358 over 2 and the other recoded cinematic in this game? Because it's just a cinematic. It's not like it's gonna take up disk space.
just so you can know the story, because they know they put all that shit out in the handhelds, and they know that most people don't have any idea what the hell is going on. Just that.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. It's like if there was can there be a criterion of games that just puts these in order, please? And I'll pay the $200.
The funny thing is though is that like I could rattle off the chronological order for you. Like that's the funny.
No,
I
I
know
can
you
too.
could,
It's not
because you guys
It's not.
had
It's
to
not.
learn it.
My favorite thing about it is that Dream Drop Distance is technically Kingdom Hearts 3.
More or less.
it takes place
Because it is
after?
literally it takes place after 2, and it is literally a story about Sora and Riku, the main characters, involving new information about what's going on.
Yeah.
It's the
Like,
actual
it's literally-
2.5. Yeah.
No, it is literally just a game, and it is exactly what the fuck was going to be in Kingdom Hearts 3. and if I'm entirely honest, I feel like Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance was like a game that they began producing as Kingdom Hearts 3, and then they're just like, can we put it on the 3DS? We could put it on the 3DS.
Yeah, Dream Drop
Make a better game.
Dream Drop Distance is basically Kingdom Hearts 3 Part 1.
That's interesting.
Oh,
So
God.
it's
That's
like the
essentially what we're
phantom
getting.
pain of the fucking
Yes,
Oh, God.
exactly.
Except it's on 3DS.
I mean,
Do you think they actually went to Nintendo and were like, Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be in 3DS? What? No, like, it's good. The official 3 one's going to be in 3DS. No.
It's like, don't make me repeat
No.
myself.
So sad.
We
which
refuse.
is so sad
Yeah.
because they initially released. It's a Sony product for PS, and it's not a Sony product. But it's heavily associated with PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't see an Xbox release for 2.8, so it's just all of these games are just going to PlayStation now.
Yeah.
And despite that, like it released 2 versions. Birth by Sleep, the more important game, went to the original Sony handheld, like on the Vita.
Right.
And now that they have the chance, they're like, oh, the most important, like essentially Kingdom Hearts 3 goes to the 3DS. That is just
Total switching
a
of houses.
mic drop insult to their own system. Like, that is so sad.
Good lord. And yeah, and they're also apparently, according to you, making Mickey one of the worst characters. Like,
He's not. He's.
or he's
I
doing
mean,
bad things. Which is very fascinating.
It's complicated. I mean, they're taking him in directions that you're just like, shit.
So even
like,
Disney's probably
you're
like,
just-
can you not do that to our most famous iconic character? Can you?
Yeah, or just like put him in like the same breath as a person that's committed genocide. You know, that's good.
Meanwhile, Square's like, no. We're good.
I love how weird this series is. I mean, that's the thing is and I feel like this is the thing that they've just totally leaned into the weirdness. They don't care at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, the difference between this is that like I feel like Dark Souls is somehow there's like a purpose behind all the weird shit that goes on, and it definitely feels to me like there isn't a purpose behind this. Like there's no purpose behind this.
I mean, when you get 14 years into a series, because Kingdom Hearts 1 was released in 2002, when you get that far into a series, you're like, okay, we're pretty damn committed at this point. Just go
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah. All right. That's enough of that.
All right.
We'll get to a Kingdom Hearts episode at a later date, not today.
I'm gonna be excited for it. I'm just gonna listen, and the rant's gonna be glorious. I'm so excited.
It is actually gonna be great. I mean, we need to go through we're gonna spec this shit out. So it's like I have like a serial killer wall of like connecting facts.
Oh my god, yes, that'd be
Yes,
great.
the conspiracy wall. I love those.
I have a free wall in my room. I can do the exact same thing. So bring it
You know,
on.
there is literally like years of recorded material on YouTube talking about like the lore of Kingdom Hearts.
Oh,
Imagine.
totally.
Imagine.
Duh.
It's insane. I listened to a bunch of it the other day, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, some of this is thick. Citing promotional material and all this shit. I was just like, Jesus Christ. People are devoted like you don't even know.
Do I want to know though?
All right. Well, let's talk about our big topic this week, which is basically I don't know if there's a specific term for this, but we're talking about games that don't really have set goals. What I mean by this is something. Probably the most obvious example would be Minecraft. The games would be Kerbal Space Program, No Man's Sky, and to a certain extent, was what brought me here was Civilization. Now, obviously, Civilization has goals in terms of you can win the game through victory, through science, through all these things, but you don't have to do that. You can turn off all those victories. You can turn off all these elements of the game. The game very much lets you play however you want. And if you just want to build a civilization, just kind of dick around for a while, you can. I think for a while these games were very popular with your Sims and your Sim Cities, and it seemed like that was popular for a while. But now it's more of this sort of crafting creation templates are really popular with your Minecraft and your Kerbal Space Programs. So I guess I'll start with for me, most of the time until I played Civ, I needed a story to beat a game. Do you feel sort of similar that you have to have a story to kind of inspire you to keep going?
Feel that is my greatest issue with platform, but the open world games.
Same.
Is they don't feel I think we've talked about this a long time ago, but they don't feel curated, and it doesn't feel like a story to me, and that's why I stopped playing it. So I think truly I want stories out of games. It's why I still game, and I think that that is kind of why this list is not big for me. Well, I mean, No Man's Sky wouldn't be big for me.
Right. I
Either
think
way.
No Man's Sky's entry in that was one that was had the same level of audience love before it came out that these other games had. But of course, the game itself ended up being poopy, and nobody wants to
Kerbal
live
Space
in the world.
Program is just genius on a level.
Oh, yes.
I mean that's the one of these. I mean, I admit to Minecraft's glory, but like Kerbal Space Program is probably the only one that's like I like enjoy as a game.
I'm sorry. Pause.
Right, but I also find myself
I'm ignorant to
never-
what Kerbal Space Program is. If you could explain that right quick.
Oh, dude, it's great.
It's
I
great.
I'm just I don't
started-
know what it is. So I'm ignorant.
It started as an early access game. It does now have a story mode, but most people got into it without the story mode. Basically, you are on a planet called Kerbal, the little cute little green creatures, and you are trying to go into space. And it has very accurate rocketry functions, but you can basically build any kind of rocket you want. So, of course, people have built rockets that look like penises. That's your first.
I mean,
movement.
yeah.
But after that, you can build rockets that actually work, that actually get you like to the moon and to other planets and to other places. But you can also just build the stupidest, dumbest shit you've ever wanted in your life. And it's really cute and really fun. But for me, like with Minecraft, I'm just not creative enough. I make a dick and that's it. Like, it's pretty much like I try to make a dick and then I try to make an actual thing that works and I fail horribly and I don't want to do any research on rocketry. So I just quit. But I kind of love that it exists, but I never want to play it again.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite things about that is like you go online. I mean, those are one of those games that feeds an online community to such an extent. I feel like all of these games feed an online community.
Right, that's one thing I want to talk
because
about.
of the creativity.
Why is these games so beloved by the community still? Like 5 years after Minecraft came out, it's still huge.
Well, you know, because you go online and you can find a video of Kerbal Space Program. Somebody built like a working Gundam.
Yes.
That just flies around and transforms out of the basic UI of this program.
Yeah.
Which must have taken like thousands of hours, and you're just like, Jesus
Like major
Christ,
dedication.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, someone in Minecraft built a computer in Minecraft. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like
with
works-
Yeah,
Oh,
that
shit.
functions as a
Oh
computer.
my
Yeah.
god.
that actually plays like I think tic-tac-toe or something like that, but like
Yeah.
is an actual computer built in Minecraft. It's like that is the stuff I
mean,
love, but I'm
right.
so not creative enough. I'm like, yeah, okay, I built a house. Cool.
Yay.
Cool.
Yeah.
I feel like the other issue sometimes is coming late to these games. The sense of discovery has to be something like, you know, being somebody that like for me, like I don't want to play COD outside of like the major COD community playing it. Like being part of that community, being part of that sense of discovery. Well, there's no sense of discovery in COD. It's all the damn same. Rim shot. But the idea is like being part of that community and being part of it when it's being discovered, and then eventually you see somebody else do it. I feel like coming to some of these games after somebody's done such a thing. Like sometimes that's my issue with like going back to like Dark Souls, and you see somebody like one shot people with like this boss run, and you can look up how to do that boss run, and it just takes away some of the fun of it and like the discovery, specifically of Dark Souls, specifically because you know all the backstory and everything before you get in there, and you're like, I already know where this is going. I don't want to finish it.
Yeah.
where there's still so much undiscovered of Dark Souls 3, and I have such a different experience, and I'm like looking around every corner like, oh my god, I'm discovering stuff. Oh my god, I'm part of the community.
Right.
And it's just a different experience to like Dark Souls 1. There's not a nook or cranny that hasn't been like somebody's head shoved up.
Right, and I think it's probably the major problem No Man's Sky had, which is like Minecraft kind of proved like, oh, your game can look like garbage in a sense, but kind of beautiful, weird. Like I don't want to say garbage, but like in a sense, like it has super low pixel resolution, but obviously that gives it a lot more people can play it because even people with shitty computers can play Minecraft, you know. And B, it lessens sort of there has to kind of match this sort of perfect level of you could do everything, but it's also like so not built out that
simplistic.
That people can kind of carve their own identity into it. Where No Man's Sky kind of came with this similar identity, and because it didn't live up to it, it's like way harder. Where if No Man's Sky was just more just like, I don't know, sometimes planets
No
is like
Man's
garbage,
Sky,
you know? Like, what are you going to do? Like, it's a procedurally generated
No Man's
cheap
Sky
thing, you know?
doesn't support creativity. No Man's Sky
Yes, that's true.
is shittily curated sandbox. And this is the thing, it really only imagines you doing one or two things. And that's the thing, is there's such a lack of creativity and such a lack of things to do, which is the issue. Whereas Minecraft gives you a simple system and then stands back and gives you infinite possibilities, this is the difference, is that No Man's Sky gives you no system. There's nothing you can really do is the big issue with No Man's Sky, other than raise some stats, essentially.
Yeah.
And accidentally end your game by going to the center of the universe.
Yeah, and that's what I think is very interesting. Is that often these games tend to have like a set thing. Like Terraria does have an endpoint, but most people don't want to go to that endpoint, which I find very fascinating. Which is like, I just want to do this, which I think is sort of something that's come out of in a weird way, Farmville, like a long time ago. But I think Farmville, the weird moment. Hey kids, ask your parents about when Farmville was popular.
Oh Jesus, is that's our lifetime, dude? Are we those people's parents? Like, what the fuck was that, Ben?
I'm making a joke about being old.
Or at the very least, they're older cousins.
Fun story. I have an intern now.
Oh.
So I have an intern. She is a 19-year-old UNC student, and she makes me feel so fucking old.
Does she not know what a VCR is?
No, dude.
Wait.
What's the oldest thing she
said? I talked about flip cell phones the other day.
The Razor. The Razor.
Yes, I have an old Razor that's just kicking around my office, and she didn't know what it was.
Oh my god!
And I was like, it was one of I was like honestly deeply horrified. I had like an honest to god like moment of like deep ennui. I was just like, I was so taken aback by the fact that I wasn't one of the kids anymore.
Oh my god!
And I was like sitting there in my button down and tie and slacks, and I was like, oh my god, I'm this girl's boss. What the fuck?
Yeah, dude, I was talking about like how one of my best like movie going experiences was seeing The Dark Knight opening night, and someone was like, "Yeah, I was too young to go see it," and I was like, "How old were you?" They were like 9.
Wait, what?
I was like, "Oh,
no." Wait, where were you talking to this person?
We're almost 30.
Oh my god.
We're almost 30 is the issue that we need to realize. It's like there's a whole generation of like 20-year-olds that are coming up now, like fast behind us.
Yeah.
And they're going to college, and they're just gonna like that's who's in college now, and that's.
Yep.
Oh.
My youngest
high school class was the first high school class that was born after 9/11. Did you know that?
Please stop.
What?
Just stop. I mean, like my
I think
they were born. Holy shit! They didn't live through 9/11.
They were born after. Yeah,
that exists.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I mean, my youngest brother is like my youngest brother is a year and a half off from going to college. I'm just like, no, get back, please stop.
So we're just old men wondering why Minecraft is popular. That's what this, this is making.
No, we're not wondering. No. We know.
No, I just think it's interesting because I think all three of us are in the same spot where like we look at these communities, we love them, but I think it's very fascinating where it's like I want to love Minecraft or Kerbal Space Program sometimes.
I think that's the other thing is like and like we made this similar complaint, but we're still on board enough to like get into Twitch. Like I've gotten into Twitch.
Oh my god, yes.
I respect.
I respect Twitch, and I've finally kind of come around to being like okay with Twitch, but it took me a while, and that's what my only thing is like. Is that just my like? Am I like so set in my ways now that I'm like having a hard time developing with the new media? That's my whole thing.
No, I do wonder that is what a story mean for games in the future. I think it'll always be important, but it's like it is interesting that some of the most popular ones are either multiplayer games or these kind of crafting games or
Which is interesting because we're gonna see a generation of kids being like, I remember when the first VR came out, and it's like, and we're like, so I remember when the first smartphone came out.
Yeah,
like,
I remember when I first got internet for the first time. Ain't nobody gonna remember that shit.
No, oh, dude, I remember dial-up.
Yeah,
that's okay. Whenever
anyone remember dial-up.
Yeah, whenever anyone like brings up dial-up, like the sound like that took like a minute long sound, whatever haunts me.
Unironically used floppy disks.
Yes, I did too. I had like SimCity 2000 on a floppy disk. Yes, I did.
Yeah. I loaded games onto my computer via floppy disks. That happened.
I had a computer that had DOS on it. Yeah, That was DOS.
And they were on the way out when I was like
Yeah,
just starting
yeah.
computers, but I did use them. Like
Exactly.
it was in my lifetime and part of my like experience. I remember freaking out about my first like computer and loading discs on it. And I also have my dad's oldest computer, like which is like a DOS system, which you literally load the operating system onto it from a floppy disk. The operating system is on
That's
the
hilarious.
floppy disk that it plugs into it, and then it runs it. And it's just such a thing to see.
Yeah,
Just
it's
like-
so I'll never forget the moment that I first realized like technology got insanely faster than I realized was when I was like, oh, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic as an app. What that means? Like, is it character something? Oh no, it's the whole game.
Whole game.
The whole
whole
game
fucking
that you
game.
used to play all day, like, was the most brilliant technological advancement you've ever seen in your life at the time.
Now
That was,
in
like,
your pocket.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
Plays-
here it is.
on your fucking phone.
Yeah, I saw that when I bought KOTOR for on Steam a few months ago, and I was like, I could get it on my phone, but I'm not going to.
So I saw an article the other day that talks about the distance between, like, because they talked about the portability and like how, you know, games are going more portable and that sort of thing. They talked about how the hardcore technology distance and there will always be a higher end graphics, but kind of like that middling graphical things. Like we have a lot of games that come out that are just kind of middle of the road graphics, and that middle of the road graphics things is going to be within our lifetime that generation of phones is going to catch up with the ability to play kind of like the lowest end games on consoles
Yeah.
and like low end PCs. So like, what does that mean? like, I mean, I think that's the issue is like Nintendo Switch feels ahead of the time for what is ultimately like happening. Like we're going to get portable things, and then like hardcore gaming is going to go to PCs, because that's essentially what's happened is that consoles have become PCs, like low end PCs.
Yes.
We totally got off the topic. I'm so sorry.
No, I was just trying to figure out how to reel it back.
Yeah, we're like, oh, that's what happened. No,
we
just,
became
we
old.
just fucked up.
Yeah, it was a good ramble though. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
It was like old man ramble. It's good. It's fine.
I mean, we
Maybe
connected
it's-
it kind of, but then we kept going.
Yeah. Maybe it's time to wrap up, but I
but-
guess I'll just quickly ask: is there any sort of game that doesn't have a plot that you've sort of delved into a lot, or have you just sort of stayed aside? Because I'd say Civ is probably the one I've done the most of. That doesn't really have a
Yeah,
plot.
damn. I mean, for me, probably it's gonna be like I've done stuff like Kerbal Space Program, but there's definitely a distinction between these and kind of these indie games that don't have a plot that I've played. Does
Yeah,
that
I'm
make
not.
sense?
Yeah,
Like,
it's not like Abzu. You know what I mean?
yeah. Oh, fuck Abzu.
Journey, sorry.
Abzu actually,
Journey, the good one.
Abzu actually has a meaty plot, and Journey does too, to
Yeah.
some extent.
That's true.
It was just the loop-de-loos that you were like, no, I can't do this.
Oh my god, you guys don't even know.
I really
Like,
don't.
like it's just like maddening. like,
I feel like if you
especially
were.
when
I feel like
switch-
if you were streaming the loop-de-loop, someone would have made a supercut of you getting angrier and angrier with the loop-de-loops.
I would have loved that.
That's Katie. It was really funny. I got super angry about it. I was just like, "Fuck you!" And the worst bit is when I turned Journey on after Abzu, and I was like, "Oh my god, Abzu, you are just a piece of shit. Like you are just a giant piece of
You
shit."
start talking to Journey like, Journey, you're the only one who ever loved me.
No, it's like
Yeah.
it's like literally like I don't know, like it's like having a nice girlfriend and then you just like trade up for a day with a woman made out of mouse traps that you put on your dick, and then you go back and you're just
What?
like, oh, this is great.
What?
I was
This
about
is
to say
great.
just like an awkward sexual experience. You went for like Saw level.
Oh my
Journey.
god.
It's like somebody. It's like the difference between having somebody that loves you and is really interested in your life and putting your dick in a mouse trap.
Stop that. Stop saying that. My dick is like cringing.
It's like the difference
Oh
between
god.
No.
I'm really searching for the worst possible analogy
Please
now, just to
no.
mess with you.
Well, this was a fun off the rails topic, but I think we covered it well enough, even in our rambly fashion. So I want to thank everybody for listening to this Save Point podcast. As always, I want to thank Jack and Peter for being on the podcast as always as well, being awesome people.
The
You can check out all of our stuff at TuscanShed.com, all the Tuscan Shed Media Network shows. We've got Animania. We've got Geek Space 9 finally coming back. We've got Movie Gang Podcast. We've got Feast for Bros. We got so many goddamn shows, guys. It's so great. Be sure to like and subscribe to us any way that you can. Be sure to rate and review the show. That does help us find new listeners, particularly on iTunes. And send us questions. We love questions. Jack, did I miss anything?
Yeah, so Will contacted me for the first time in 5 months, and back when he was on Movie Gang Podcast and went to IRL for quite a while. And one of the things he's like, oh, do you guys do other podcasts? And I was like, oh yeah, go check out our website. And he's like, wait, when the fuck did all of this happen?
Dude, you've been gone for a while. Shit got
I
real.
was about to say. So it's nice to see how we expanded. We just did the 34th episode of the Movie Gang Podcast.
Oh, that's right, we did.
And it is just it's awesome that we've kept this going this long.
Yeah, we're almost up
super
to a
excited
year.
about it.
Isn't that crazy?
I am so happy about that.
No, when we do Rogue One, that was our first thing.
Star Wars will be our anniversary every year.
Yeah.
It is. It is our anniversary. Especially, so I'm kind of excited for J.J. Abrams to not let that gravy train die.
Yeah, don't move it to summer. We like our anniversary Star Wars episodes.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend the other day because he didn't know that I was doing a podcast because we hadn't talked in forever, and he asked me, he's like, well, how long have you been doing it? And I paused for a second, before I messaged him back. I was like, damn. We're getting up there to
a year.
Like we're actually
a year
of
of our lives.
Yeah.
Days of our lives. Anyway, we're actually getting there, and it's kind of crazy, but I'm totally happy. I'm totally happy about it.
Yeah.
And especially the other stuff like Geek Space 9. I love not being a part of that podcast because I initially, and I don't mean it in a mean way. I mean it I love having you guys do a podcast that I just listen to that I'm not in any way.
I'm
shape,
exactly
or
the
form
same
a part
with
of.
Animania.
Same.
Like anime, I probably could join, but I just like listening.
Yeah, no, I know. It's like the same thing with Rob stuff sometimes and other people's stuff. It's I love it that this is I started it and then it just shred off and other people are just doing stuff with it. I'm just oh my god, yes. And Bobby Wright's article, oh my god, sometimes I think about it and I just oh, it makes my heart warm when most other things in my life make my heart feel like pain. Oh, it sounds terrible. Sorry, I don't mean it like that. This is it's a bright spot. Let me be positive.
No,
Sorry.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.